Okay, so all the ribbon is now on. We're gonna flip this over and we're gonna kind of tie off all of these twist ties or pipe cleaners. And so you still will have time to kind of maneuver the mesh around and to the position you want it, but you kind of want to look just, we want to tie off these so that they're not as long, and that, you know, obviously the ends of the pipe cleaners have a rough edge so they can scratch the surface of the wall that you're hanging on or the door. So if you find that some of yours are not as tight as you would like, that's why it's nice sometimes not to twist them too tight. You're going to twist off a few times. Now, if you have those wire cutters, all you're going to do is trim off so you're not working with as much. And then I just like to use my needle nose pliers to help me roll it down. But on the same token, you certainly can do it just as easily with your fingers. So this one, I'm going to just twist off and then kind of roll it down and under. So I've just gotten used to using the tools since I have them. And I'm undoing this one because see how it's kind of rolled out more? I want it to be a bit more to the inside. So that's, again, it gives me the ability to do that. And if I don't twist these as many times at the initial stage, I won't have as much to work with at the end. Or I won't have as much to undo at the end if I want to reposition them. So again, I'm going to go ahead and just work my way around the wreath, kind of what I call tying it off. So I'm going to fast forward and you can pick it up. I'll come back at the next stage. Okay, so now we've got the back all tied off. So now you're going to want to do a couple things. We're going to kind of finesse our ribbon, and you'll probably still do this one more time when the wreath is all done and it's in the spot where you want to hang it. And what I'm doing is just trying to twist the ribbon and make sure the patterns are showing. Sometimes they get turned around, and that's okay. We just want to kind of make sure that they're the ones that we want highlighted are highlighted. And at the same time, you can also kind of look to see if mesh needs to turn. We are still going to be putting a sign on, so I'm kind of looking to see what I want to be like kind of the top of my wreath while I'm doing this. So I'm kind of thinking I may put this being the top. So I think that's kind of where I want it. And again, I'll rework this mesh, excuse me, ribbon and mesh once I kind of get the sign on. So this is going to be considered my top, and this is going to be where I kind of want my sign to go. If you've done one of these videos with me sometime last year, I've kind of noticed that sometimes the fishing twine or line will slip a little bit. So I've learned a different way to kind of anchor it. So you may already know this, but if you've done this video before, I normally would do the tops and then the bottoms, but with these long signs, I find it works better if I do the sides, so each side. So what I do is, this is really hard to really have you see on the video, but I'm going to walk you through. So I'm separating the mesh out, and I'm taking my fishing line and I'm going down to the back side of the mesh, of the wreath. So I then am going to wrap it around one of the bars that is down. So the bar is helping to secure it. Now I'm going to take my end and I'm going to go back through my original hole. And then I'm going to then work this end back down to the back side of the wreath. So there. And it's kind of pulled out to the side here. Now I'm going to do the same thing for this side. I'm going to start by working it down and wrapping it around one of the bars. I'm going to feed it back up. If I can hang on to it. And we will flip over the wreath in a moment. And then I'm going to go back through my hole and pull it to the back side again. And now, okay. And then I kind of want to kind of push it down a little bit so where I kind of want it, because I kind of want it seated into the ribbons, not sitting all the way on top, because again, that won't make it more likely to slide. So then I'm going to take those two ends that I pulled through the back side, kind of hold them somewhat taut in my hand. Now I'm going to put a hand on this while I flip it over so I don't lose too much of it. And this worked out great. My positioning of my fishing line is near a crossbar, so that really helps to anchor it. So I'm going to wrap it around and catch it, maybe, and come back through here. So I've now wrapped around this one and this one. And that just kind of gives me something to anchor it to. And this one's close enough to here that I'm going to pull back to it. And again, this just helps with it slipping, less likely to. There's still always a chance, but it will help to secure it more. All right, so now I'm going to start by throwing one loop, and then I'm going to pick another bar. And it doesn't have to be this one, it could be any of these. Well, let's try that again. So, start with one throw, and then pull it under, and go ahead and do another throw on top. And you see it's moving all around because I haven't done anything to really secure it. So I'm going to throw my second one, maybe. There. Okay. Now, it's a good time to check to make sure it's as tight down as you want. And that feels really good. I think that's good tautness. So I'm going to flip it back over and go ahead and throw a few more knots. Because unless you're proficient at throwing square knots, your fishing twine will likely slip. I usually throw about 4 throws, and then I again wrap it around and do more. So that way the knot's pretty secure. And there is plenty of fishing line here to play with, so you will have enough to work with. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and trim those. And now I'm gonna flip it back over and I'm gonna work on the other side. So again, same thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna feed this down in between the mesh, wrap it around a bar, feed it back up, and then back down. So now this one. Down, round bar, up, back down the hole, and then pull it through to the back side of the wreath. I'm trying to find the other fishing line end. I would think there. All right, so again, I'm gonna kind of check to see how taut down I want it. I think that's good. Now I can come back and pull that ribbon and move it around as I want to after this is secured. So I'm gonna flip it over and I'm gonna take advantage of these crossbars. I just want to check to make sure it's tight enough. So this side has a little bit more play, so I'm going to see if I can't. This will be the one time I probably threw the square knot and won't be able to pull it tight. But it looks like I've been able to. And then so I was able to pull up a little bit more of that slack, so it's not as tight. And so I got it a little bit tighter, excuse me. Okay, now I'm gonna throw a few more. All right, so that is pretty much how we put the sign on. There's two more steps we're gonna walk through. Okay, so again, we've said that this is the top of our wreath, so I'm gonna kind of flip it over. So it's right near this middle one. So I'm gonna take my little bar here, or little wire here, and I'm gonna go ahead and attach it. Again, this is when wire, needle nose pliers come in handy. However, it is not, as you can see, I am able to move this with my fingers, but you definitely get it tighter, when you use the pliers. So that is when they are advantageous. And you don't have to use this wire. I use it because I use like a little 3M hook to hang my wreaths on my front door. You certainly can use the bars of the wreath itself, like this here, and hang your wreath. I just find it's a little bit more secure. Where we are, we have big winds, and it just gives that little extra layer of secureness of keeping it. And then I can even, if I need to make this loop smaller, I can even twist that again, because that would work with my hooks. So I have that on. So then the last thing I want to look at is, again, finessing those ribbons. And you can do this time and time again, and as you even get it up on to your wall or door. I just want to make sure that, you know, some of the fun patterns are showing near the sign, and, you know, so, but that's all there is to it. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Please reach out if you have questions or if something was not clear. I'm happy to help where I can. So thank you, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you will make another one with me one day. Thank you.